Welcome back to a new episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic that fuels every move, that colors every experience, and essentially shapes how our journey unfolds. Can you guess? Yes, we're going to be talking about energy. If you have been following me along, you know that my power word for 2024 is vibrant. And when I think about vibrant, I think about energy. So today, I want to share with you why energy matters. How can you generate vibrant energy so you can shape your 2024 to be the best year that you've ever experienced? Let's dig in. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. Have you ever wondered why some days feels like a breeze while others, well, not so much? It all comes down to the energy we bring into our day. Energy is the invisible force that propels us forward, that influences our decisions, our interactions, and our overall well being. But why does it matter so much? How does your energy that you carry impact the trajectory of your life? Stick around because we're unpacking that right now. Let me start by saying that last year, when I was reflecting on my vision for 2024 and I was speaking my power word for 2024, if you have never heard about power words, I did an episode, the last one of 2023, where I share how the process I follow personally to pick my power word. And my power word is nothing else than a theme for my year. I see years like books, and the title of my 2024 book is Vibrant. When I think about vibrant, I think about energy. But to be honest, when I was visioning about 2024 and working on picking that word, I was just seeing the tip of the iceberg. And as the year has unfolded and I've been working and immersing myself and getting obsessed with finding this vibrant energy and generating this vibrant energy and feeling the vibrancy and showing up vibrant, I have realized that there's so much to this than what I had anticipated. When I was thinking about vibrant energy, I was thinking about some things that I could do to generate that kind of energy. Because someone once says that, like the power plant, it doesn't have energy, it generates energy. We are the same. We get to generate the energy we choose to generate. And we're going to talk more about that today. But I was thinking very simplistic about this topic, and I realized that there's so much more that impacts our energy. And I want to start by reflecting on moments when you had felt this surge of positive energy. And I want you to think about how did that affect your day? On the flip side, I'm sure you can recall times when your energy was low and seemed to cast a shadow. What changed in those days? Think about it for a minute. How your days unfold when you had one energy versus the other. I can tell that when I have vibrant energy, my day flows. It's smoother. I am feeling on my A game. I am feeling fulfilled. I'm feeling energized. When my energy is low, I drag my days. I procrastinate more. I don't show up as the best version of myself. And a lot of times I look back and regret on some of the things that I said or the way that I showed up in certain interactions. Our energy matters. And when we fast forward and look at the bigger picture of 2024, if you picture this year as a canvas waiting for you to create a master art piece, how vibrant do you want those strokes to be? Energy is like that palette that determines the color you'll paint with. As we embark on this journey into this new year, that can you believe that the first month is practically over? By the time you listen to this podcast, we're going to be at the very end of January, but we still have 11 months ahead of us. And regardless on how your year started, I want you to have a year that is full of color and feels vibrant. Because I have got a taste of that. And once you get a taste of that, you just want more. Vibrant energy is addictive. Once you get it, you don't want it to go away. You want just more and more of it. And so today I want to just unfold this topic and talk about, again, how can we generate this vibrant energy? Because I think, I'm sure you have goals for this year. You have your own vision for this year. And what I've learned over the years, I've been always a goal getter. I love setting goals. I love pursuing goals. I love achieving goals. And when I achieve those goals, I move on to the next set of goals. And that has been the story of my life. And then I realized that it wasn't about the goals, it was about the feeling that I was pursuing, how I thought I would feel when I would achieve those goals. That was the really rewarding part. It was twofold. It was the journey to get to the goal, because that is the time where I grew the most, and the most challenging the road to success was, the more that I learned and the more that I grew as a person. And then it was the feeling at the end. And that feeling is temporary. If you think about it, when you reach a goal, you celebrate the goal, but then that feeling, that excitement, all those feelings that come with that achievement fade away. And that's why we pursue the next set of goals, because we're chasing over and over that feeling. What if on top of, I won't say replacing goals, but on top of setting goals, because I think goals play an important role, and we all should set goals for ourselves and pursue goals in all areas of our lives. I firmly believe that. But beyond the goals, we set ourselves the goal of pursuing the feeling and creating those feelings every day. What I've learned is that you don't have to get to the finish line to savor those feelings. You can evoke those feelings and that energy at any point of the journey. And that's what I want to talk about today. How to generate that vibrant energy, how to show up vibrant. And I think I'm probably going to do several episodes throughout the year, because I am learning every day. As I said, when I set this goal, not this goal, this word, this power word for myself, I was just looking at the tip of the iceberg. And as the year is going by, I'm learning that there is this massive, massive world underwater, under the tip of this iceberg that I was looking at. So I'm going to share what I have learned so far. I want to make this a very pragmatic episode. So I'm going to share with you some tactics and some strategies that I am applying that are helping me feel vibrant. But I probably later on in the year will report out on what else I've been learning. because, as I said, I'm immersing in this topic. I am obsessed, in the best sense of the word, with creating this vibrant energy for myself. So, we can tackle this from different perspectives, and there's so much in my head that I want to share with you, and I'm going to try to structure it in a way that makes sense. But as I said, I've been learning so much, and the thing is that when you look at things with a filter, in my case the filter of this power word of my year, this theme that I have set for 2024, and you look at everything through that lens, you start to see things from a different perspective. That's why I love setting power words, because all the content, all the discussions, all the messages, all the inputs that meant something for you, now when you look through the lens, a different lens, then you get something different out of it. And an example of that is this weekend I attended a Tony Robbins event. He does this free challenge every year. So I attended that. And as I was listening to a lot of the things that he said, which are the same things that he shared, the same concepts, not the same things, but the same concepts he shared last year and the year before that. And I've joined all of these challenges. I got different things out of it because I was paying attention to him through the lens of this word vibrant. So let's get started. That was a long-winded introduction, but I hope this helped to set a little bit of why energy matters. Why energy matters. Okay, so where do I want to get started? I think I'm going to get started with Tony Robbins, since that is top of mind, since I was just listening to him just yesterday. And he says, energy is the essence of life. Every day you decide how you're going to use it by knowing what you want and what it takes to reach the goal, and by maintaining focus. I love that because I do believe energy is the essence of life. I'm uncovering that as I go through this year, that my energy determines how I show up. It determines the decisions that I make. It determines or influences the way that I feel during the day, the way that I process the experiences, the way that I live my life every day. So, I want to share what are some things that impact our energy. And I think your energy is guided by a lot of things. I think anything and everything has the potential to impact your energy. One exercise that I did at the beginning of the year, and I would really invite you to do this exercise for yourself because we're all different. The things that gives us energy or deplete our energy are different because we're all different. So I did this exercise where I had a piece of paper and I traced a line in the middle. So I had two columns. On one column, I was writing down all the things that energize me. What are the things that give me energy? On the other side of the page, I wrote all the energy vampires, or the things that deplete my energy. What are those things for you? Right? For me, for example, things that give me energy is when my kids give me a hug, when I exercise, when I stay hydrated, when I get fresh air, walk in nature, accomplishing a goal, connecting with a friend. Those are things that give me energy. And then there are things that deplete my energy, like arguing with people, like sitting down all day, like eating junk food. Like, what are the things that energize you? What are the things that deplete your energy? And it can be anything. As you see, there are things that you do, there are the food that you eat, the places you are, the people you interact with. There can be even people that energize you and people that deplete your energy. Haven't you feel like you're interacting with people and you walk away after interacting with them feeling energized and positive? And there's people that when you see in your calendar that you're meeting with that person, you're dragging that because you know that every time that you talk to that person, it sucks your energy. So as I said, there's different things that gives us energy and takes energy away. And I would recommend that you do your own list, because then you get to control your levels of energy by doing more of the things that energize you and staying away from the things that deplete your energy. But I personally believe that your energy is guided by the people that you surround yourself with. As I said, they're people that every time you talk to them, you feel energized. And they're people that every time you talk to them, you feel like they sucked the best of you. Your energy is also guided by the way that you spend your time. There are things that we do where we lose track of time, and we feel super energized by those things. And there are things that we always procrastinate around, that we feel like drag our energy when we do. Your energy is also guided by the books that you read. What are the books that you're consuming? Are the books that you're reading, that you're picking for yourself, helping you feel more energized, feeling excited? I like to pick books on topics that interest me, and I'm sure you do as well, but they're books that I start reading. I don't know if this has happened to you, but I pick a book because I have this idea of the book and I'm halfway through and I'm not liking the book, but I'm committed to finish the book. And it's every time that I pick the book, it I feel like I'm dragging it, and it takes me forever to finish the book. I've decided for myself to put those books away. Like, I'm only reading things unless I have to read them because it's something related to work or something, but I try to pick books that energize me. Your energy is also guided by the content that you consume. I mean, in average, I was looking at the statistic the other day, but um, we spend multiple hours scrolling in our phones or in social media in general. We are bombarded by information, right? And the content that we consume can impact our energy. During the pandemic, I made the decision to stop listening to the news because it was creating this very negative energy on myself. So I stopped watching the news. And until this day, I'm like, my husband is the opposite. He loves reading the news. So I know if there's anything that I need to know, he'll give me the download. Also, the food that you eat. There are certain foods that make us feel good, and there's certain foods that doesn't. And that can be different for any people. If you had food sensitivities, for example, there are foods that are poison for you, and they might be superfoods for someone else, right? The words that you speak to yourself. Gosh, this is a good one, right? When you're talking to yourself, we are the person we spend the most time with. And a lot of times the conversations we have with ourselves are very negative, and that impacts our energy, that impacts how we feel and how we show up. It impacts our levels of confidence and definitely our levels of energy. The movement that you take, for me, that's why I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. to hit play on my workout every single day. I've been doing that for over 5 years, and if there is a day that missed my workout, I can feel it. I can feel it in my level of energy. Movement creates energy. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. Or let's talk about it right now. I was listening to Tony Robbins, as I mentioned, this week, and he talks about this 5 to Thrive concept. Basically, what creates, he calls it state. Basically, how you feel, your energy is impacted by a few things, but one of them that he talks about is your physiology, right? What you eat, how much you sleep, your hydration, your posture, your movement, all of that can make a radical change in your energy. That's why I don't know if you've ever attended a Tony Robbins event, but he has you jumping up and down and dancing, and If when it's the first time that you attend one of his events, it can feel a little bit weird, but then you start to feel the energy. He was sharing how Stanford did an study of him and people who has attended his events, where they have seen that people who go to their events, a reduction in the number of people depressed. They have an impact on getting people out of depression without any medication. And a lot of that has to do with this physiology, right? The movement. And you can do that at any point of the day. When you're feeling your energy is low, you can go for a walk or create some movement, however that movement looks like, right? Your energy is also guided by how you prioritize rest. Rest is so important. A lot of times we underestimate it. I know when I was younger, I'm like, sleep is a waste of time. Like the day doesn't have enough hours and I'm spending so much time sleeping. I should sleep less so I can do more. I had that mentality in my 20s, and I have realized that rest and sleep, which are related but are not the same, have a big impact in our energy. Also, the work that you do. Are you working on something that you're passionate about, or is your work just a job? And I always tell people, I work in HR and I tell this to people all the time. You spend more time at work than you do doing anything else. You should be working on something that you're excited in the mornings to wake up to. And what you're working on, and sometimes it's not just your job, but particular projects you're working on or tasks you're working at this point can give you energy or drain your energy. I think another thing that impacts our energy is the boundaries that we set for ourselves. I have learned that boundaries are so critical and so important. And I'm so grateful that almost 2 years ago, I got to switch jobs and I started from a blank slate where I could set boundaries for myself that I didn't have before. But I'm constantly reevaluating my boundaries in all areas of my life, not just work, because I think boundaries create a protection layer that allows us to protect our energy. So, those are some things that guide and impact our energy. And I want to go back to the session with Tony Robbins because he talks about physiology, but he also talks about focus. Focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. And he tells this story about a woman who had a dinner date with her husband, and they decided to meet at 7 at a restaurant. And it's 7 p.m. and her husband is not there. It's 7:05, 7:10, he's not there. And he asks, "How are you feeling? If you were her, what would you be feeling?" Right? And there were people that were saying, "I'm starting to get upset. Why is he late? Is he again working and prioritizing work over me? It's 7:30, he's not there." And Tony asked, "How would you feel if you were her?" Right? And there are people that are feeling really pissed off, but there's also people that are feeling worried. What if something happened to him? See, whether you focus on, oh, he's late because he's working or doing whatever and it's not here because I'm not a priority, or you focus on he might have had an accident, something might have happened to him, the way you experience that moment feels completely different. So, what you focus on impacts your energy, controls your life, really, because it's like putting a pair of lenses through which you look at everything around you. The other thing that he shares is language and meaning. Meaning creates emotion, and emotion basically creates your life. So the quality of your life is how you feel. Going back to this concept of energy, how we talk and the meaning that we give to those words, because we might hear the same thing and give it completely different meanings. The meaning we give to things impact the way that we feel, which basically is our energy, right? But he reinforces that the first step to change your energy, if you want to change your energy at any moment, you can change your energy by changing your physiology, by moving your body differently, and then focusing in a different perspective. Now, I want to share some of the things that I am personally doing this year to help me have vibrant energy. And as I said, I started with a short list of things that I thought, oh, if I do these things, I'm going to generate this vibrant energy. And I have realized that that was just the tip of the iceberg, as I said before. So I want to share a few things, very tactical, that you can maybe borrow and use if you want to change your energy. But like anything, how they have the impact they have in me might have a different impact in you. So I always go back to this exercise of what gives you energy, what drains your energy. So for me, if you have been following me for a while, you know that I'm big in morning routine. So I have been re examining my morning routine to say, what little changes can I make to my morning routine that support this goal of mine of having vibrant energy? So for me, some elements of my morning routine is movement, the exercise, the workouts that I do, hydration. So I always start my day drinking water, but now I'm also adding some electrolytes on my water. And that helps me throughout my workout, but I'm feeling it has an impact as well on my energy. Um, so I'm putting electrolytes on my water. I am doubling down on gratitude. For me, gratitude is this one thing that if I'm feeling my energy is off, I can go there and I know I am going to increase my energy. I'm going to have a more positive, more vibrant energy when I'm in a place of gratitude. So I have my morning gratitude practice. One thing that I incorporated this year is red light therapy. So I got red light therapy, and I do that while I'm either meditating or listening to some personal development. And I always like to have something in my morning routine that inspires me. I like to start my day inspired. You probably have heard that if you listen to the 6 a.m. club. So I like to start my day inspired, and that is one way. And what I've noticed is that before I would do that while I was doing something else, while I was on the treadmill or while I was doing chores, I was listening to personal development. And now I find this place of quiet and stillness because I need to sit still in this red light therapy and I'm just listening. I need to have my eyes closed when I'm in front of the red light. So that forces me to be 100% present when I'm doing my personal development. And that is doubling down on that feeling. I get a lot of energy whenever I'm learning something new or I'm focusing on my own personal development. The other thing is I upgraded my coffee. I love coffee. If you know me, you know that I love coffee. So I have upgraded my coffee in two ways. One, I've been adding something to my coffee that helps me with my energy levels and with my focus. Because I feel that my ability to focus has also a big impact on my energy. So I've been adding this supplement called the Good Stuff. I will put the link on the show notes. And in fact, I have a code that gives you 25% discount. So I'll put all that on the show notes of the podcast episode. But that supplement has made a big difference, right? And I'm enjoying my coffee more because it gives it this jammy taste, but also it's helping me with my energy starting the day and with my ability to focus in the morning, which is very important to me as well. And then I'm having my coffee while I'm doing my gratitude practice. And I publish at the end of last year a gratitude journal. So I created my own gratitude journal, is available on Amazon now. I'll also put the link on the show notes of the podcast episode. But I've been doubling down on my gratitude practice, so I took it to the next level, and that is the product, right? This journal. So I'm pairing that with my coffee with this supplement that has all this good stuff on it. Other things that I'm doing for my energy, I'm taking movement breaks throughout the day. Sorry, not the year, the day. So I I was already thinking about breaks as a way to re-energize myself. But on my breaks, what would I do? I would just scroll on my phone and check my emails, right? Like my breaks equate to checking emails. And now my breaks, even if it's just 5 minutes, I incorporate movement. Another thing that I'm paying a lot of attention is to the foods that I'm eating. So I've been keeping a food journal and recording all the things that I'm eating, but also how am I feeling after I eat those foods? Because I'm playing detectives right now. I want to identify the foods that make me feel really energized and what are the foods that negatively impact my energy after I eat them. You know how after a meal, you go back to work and you struggle to focus and you feel that you're dragging the afternoon and you feel like you need a nap. And there are times that after lunch, you go back to work and it's like you have this awesome energy and you're like super productive. Well, I'm trying to identify what are those things for me because I think they're different for everyone, right? And even if I go to a list of what people call superfoods, some of them might have a positive impact on my energy. Some of them might have a neutral impact, and some might even have a negative impact because we all react differently to different foods. So I've been keeping this journal and I've been taking notes of how do I feel after I eat certain things. So I'm in this phase of paying detective. I've already have identified a few foods that I love and that make me feel good. A few foods that every time I've had them this far, I don't feel great afterwards. So I'm starting to build my list. So then I can build my meals to incorporate the foods that make me feel good. And in the past, I would look at food as a way of how to lose weight or maintain weight, right? Um, I was in a phase of my life some years ago that was my goal. That's how I looked at food. It was like something that it was yummy, I enjoy, or how it will help me lose weight. And when you look at food that way, you start to think about all the things that you can't eat. And then you feel restricted. And I would get into this negative spiral in my mind that will create a lot of negative energy. Now that I look back and I look at that period of my life from this lens of vibrant energy, so it was always this feeling of restriction. You can't eat that because you're going to gain weight. But now I look at foods and I'm like, if I eat that, I'm going to feel yucky afterwards. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel sluggish. I don't want to feel like that. So, no, thank you. I don't want to eat that. And it's much easier to say no to certain things when you know how they're going to make you feel, the impact that they're going to have in your energy. And when you have experience and you've made that connection between how you feel when you eat certain things, it's easier to say no to those things. Because after all, as I said at the beginning, we're not after the result, we're not after the goal, we're after how we think getting that result or achieving that goal is going to make us feel. So I'm creating these neural connections between food and my energy levels. And that is helping me make better choices for myself that support the way that I want to feel and the way I want to show up this year. What else am I doing? Well, I also have a nighttime routine. I'm prioritizing sleep. I'm tracking my sleep. I'm setting goals on the hours and the quality of my sleep. I'm monitoring that. I think that when you want something to change, you need to measure it to know whether you're making progress. So I'm measuring a lot of things these days, right? And I'm using my Apple Watch to help me with a lot of that. Um, Definitely, I'm trying to close my rings every day. If you have an Apple Watch, you know what I mean by that. Like standing up, using my standing desk, um, making sure that I'm walking and I'm hitting my steps. So I'm having that movement throughout the day. I have my nighttime routine where I read a book. That's the time that sometimes I use my infrared sauna mat. I got that last year or the year before. It really helps me to relax and sleep better and eliminate toxins. And I feel really good when I'm in there and after when I get out. So I'm incorporating some biohacking stuff into my routine to help with my energy. But I think one thing that really impacts my energy, and I talked about this before, is the narratives in my head. So I'm doing a lot of journaling, a lot of reflection, and just creating more self awareness of what that dialogue is and how I can shift it. But those are some basic things. Those are the foundation that I'm laying for this year. And I'm just scratching the surface because I'm realizing there's so many things that impact my energy. And what I'm also realizing is that those days that I feel vibrant, I show up differently. I perform differently. I interact with people differently. And I want more of that. Like I had these really good days where I have felt that way. And I'm like, how can I replicate this? Right. So keeping a journal of things that you're doing throughout the day and how those things are making you feel, like with food, it's like creating your own recipe book on how to generate the type of energy that you want to bring into the year. And when I reflect on the month of January, I feel like I'm making a lot of progress. I've been feeling like on my A game. I've been feeling definitely 100 times better than I was last year. Like I'm in this space that I'm like, how do I keep this going? And that just motivates me to immerse myself even more and learn more about this topic. So I'm picking some books on the topic. I'm trying to learn more about and trying to find, and as I said, playing detective. What are some more things that I can do that will continue to positively impact my energy? Because when I have that vibrant energy, as I said, I am achieving more. I am showing up as a better version of myself. And that has a trickle effect on all the areas of my life. That's why I believe that if you focus on your energy, you can have the best year that you've ever had before. Because it's all about how you feel, what creates your perception of your life and your year. Anyways, I am stretching this too long. I'm going to leave it here. As I said, I'm sure I'm going to come back to this topic later on in the year. I am looking to invite some people as guests on the podcast to talk about their perspectives on aspects of energy. And I'm hoping that I can come back and share more of what is working for me, what I'm learning, and giving you some tactical things that you can do to positively impact your energy this year. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast episode. As always, if you did, if you think that there's someone that can benefit from the content, share the episode with them. With that, I hope you have a productive, an amazing, a vibrant week. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week here on the Leading Yourself podcast.